PennsPeakRadio.com.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's Tony Butala with the Lettermen, a guy that has been there and fronting the group forever. And man, oh man, you know, when you think of the Lettermen, obviously, Tony, there you are doing it up. Man, you have Donovan, you have Bobby in there. And this is going to be one heck of a show that is going to be coming to Penn's Peak. You're not going to want to miss it. Saturday, December 8th.
I was just saying, I was reminiscing here while you're talking and thinking that Donovan T. has been with me almost 30 years himself.
Jeez, that's crazy, right? I mean, unbelievable. I mean, their signature sound, your romantic standards of songs like Smile and Put Your Head on My Shoulder and Shangri-La, and they never get old. Like, they're timeless.
Well, that's the thing about a good song, you know, lyrics. Our first hit, The Way You Look Tonight, in 1961, came from a 1936 motion picture that starred Ginger Rogers and Fred Astaire.
Jeez.
A good song is a good song.
How about it, man? I'll tell you. You know, here you are, after all these years, Tony, and still at it. It goes by quickly, as we mentioned, even when you're doing something that you really love. But did you ever set out to think that it would last this long?
Not at all. You know, just a young kid out of high school and doing lounge work in Vegas. I was in a group called The Foremost in high school. It turned out with Connie Stevens and I were little kids together. And then I was in a lounge group called Bill Norvis and the Upstarts. And then I was in a lounge group called Eddie Lawrence and the Whatnots. So I went from a Foremost to an Upstart to a Whatnot before I had started the Lettermen.
A Whatnot. Isn't that funny? I never heard that story. I mean, and stories, I'm sure you have many of them. I mean, you know, gosh, all the people that I'm sure you have run into and played with, stars of both stage and screen.
Yeah, we're very fortunate, you know, because we were not really hard rock when we started or doo-wop. Back in the late 50s, early 60s, most of the groups were doo-wop or folk or, you know, Kingston Trio, and we were pop. And when I mentioned those lounge groups, the Upstarts and the Whatnots, I learned you got your feet wet. You learned how to entertain people that didn't even care that they were there in these lounges in Vegas. They're there because they just lost a fortune gambling. And you had to be like 6 shows a night all through the evening, and you'd have to learn how to make people happy and how to entertain them without the benefit of a hit record. So, you know, Wayne Newton, same genre, and Sammy Davis. So the Lettermen I think we have a little bit wider scope of what an audience is, what you should do to an audience, rather than some of these acts that just have a hit record without paying their dues, and they stand on stage, and which is great. You know, you have laser lights and beams and smoke pots and stuff like that,
right.
Dancers, but you know, just get out there like Bill Cosby does with a microphone and a chair,
yep.
and sit in front of 10,000 people
yep.
to be able to entertain them without singing a song. And that's the kind of school that the Lettermen come from.
And you know what? Seeing, you know, talent like you and others like you, it's different nowadays. I'm not saying that we still don't have some people out there, but you know what you've done and how you and others that you mentioned, you know, how they've conducted themselves on stage and in front of people without all the theatrics and voiceovers, lip syncing, everything. I mean, it was talent, and you can see it. And this is what makes you guys so impressive and others like you to watch.
Well, when I watch these things like The Voice and America's Got Talent, there are a lot of wonderful, talented kids.
Certainly.
That, great voices. But let's hope that what they do is get past that and get out there and have to play small lounges and get in with the people and learn the trade. It's like you can't be a brain surgeon unless you've gone to school for like 12 years or something. So I think it's the same thing. Entertainers, you don't read a book to learn how to be an entertainer.
Absolutely.
You can't go to class and learn how to be one.
Yes,
you can learn how to sing. You can learn how to play a musical instrument. But to put it all together, to have the talent of perseverance, the talent of wanting to be on that stage and relating to people on a one-to-one basis with your eyes.
Yep.
You know, we spend a lot of time in the audience because we feel that people that come see us at Penn's Peak, it's a lot of trouble to, get a babysitter, get in your car, go to dinner, buck the crowd, go up to slippery mountain slope.
Mm-hmm.
Go to the parking lot. Then you come to the lobby. You pay your ticket price, and you finally sit in the auditorium. You give a big sigh of relief. You're there.
Mm-hmm.
The audience has done their job. It's by doing that much. Then it's up to us to come out on that stage and give them something they can't get by staying at home and watching their 60-inch plasma screen and 5.1 surround sound. I mean, it's very tempting for people to stay in. You got to give them an excuse to want to go out and see something that they can't get by staying home. So what we try to do is when they walk out of a 2.5-hour Letterman concert with an intangible substance called being entertained that they didn't walk in with.
Mm-hmm. I'll tell you, very well said. And, by all means, don't miss it. I mean, Tony Butala on board here with us with the Lettermen Saturday, December 8th, right here at Penn's Peak, the Christmas tour, as they are calling it. I mean, here you have a group of guys that have been on the Ed Sullivan Show, the Red Skeleton Show, Dick Clark's American Bandstand, everybody with Merv Griffin, Dinah Shore, Johnny Carson. I mean, you've run the whole gamut.
Yeah, it was as I said before, when you're a rock act up and coming in those days, that you couldn't be on these big Hollywood Palace shows. You had to have something more than just a song. So we were fortunate, and we made a lot of good friends. We were young kids traveling with Jack Benny and George Burns and Milton Berle and Red Skelton and Jackie Gleason, for gosh sake.
Wow.
We were young kids being exposed to the older crowd, so we had a wide demographic of people who follow us.
We say the Christmas tour. What can people expect from Tony, Donovan, Bobby on Saturday, December 8th, right here at Penn's Peak?
Well, you can expect all the hits. Well, we still, Doc, you've got to dance with the one that brung you. So, we do all the 26 hit records. We have just finished our 76th album, which means we've recorded over 800 songs. But we've had 4 of those albums are Christmas albums. We've had a couple gold Christmas albums. But when we'll do 2.5 hours, first of all. Secondly, we do all the hits, but we condense them in medley form to leave room for all the Christmas fun. We have a 12 Days of Christmas routine we do with the audience. We get 10 unsuspecting people from the audience on stage to become part of our 6 geese a laying, 5 golden rings, 12 drummers drumming. So it's a fun show, and we do a lot of in-audience participation. By the way, Doc, tell your friends, your listeners, to bring their cameras, because the Lettermen have a camera song in our Christmas show where we take pictures with the people. And then, of course, after the show, we're always out in the lobby. For 50 straight years, after every show, we've gone to the lobby and sat behind desks, and we sign autographs with people. They can bring all their old Letterman albums. I'll be happy to sign them for them. And then we take pictures with people after the autographs, and we have to show how user-friendly the Lettermen are. We have a stack of snail mail addresses and a stack of email addresses, and the photos that people take with us that night, they can eventually send them to us in a self-addressed envelope or whatever. We'll personally sign them, autograph them, and send them back to the folks.
That is amazing. It's not done that way anymore. Man, it gives me great pleasure to say I was able to talk to Tony Butala of the Lettermen, somebody who I've seen on all the shows that I mentioned, from Merv Griffin to Johnny Carson to Red Skeleton to Dick Clark American Bandstand. And here I am talking to this iconic figure in the music industry on my show, which is absolutely amazing. By all means, don't miss it. Saturday, December 8th, right here at Penn's Peak. We're talking about the show, the Christmas tour, the Lettermen, and they're doing all the oldies too, man. You're not going to want to miss it. What a great night out it'll be.
Well, Doc, it's always a pleasure talking to you, and look forward to seeing you and all your listeners at that night.
And you will, Tony. All the best to you, your family, to your bandmates. All the best for a wonderful holiday season and continued success in the new year.
Thank you, Doc.
Tony, we will see you. We'll see you in a little over a week.
Remember, bring their cameras, bring your old albums, and get set for 2.5, 3 hours of just good old-fashioned fun on stage with the Lettermen, doing almost every Christmas song that was ever written. We get them all in there, and a lot of solos, and a lot of fun.
Gosh, that sounds awesome. I can't wait for it myself. Tony, thank you very much, and continued success. All the best, my friend. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Doc.
Talk to you soon. Bye-bye.
Bye.
PennsPeakRadio.com